second one and get a master it, get a third one, get a master it as you progress with your time. You know, the market is not going anywhere anytime soon, right? This is a lifetime. It's like learning chess, right? You can learn chess in a few minutes, but it's a lifetime to master. What I love about the market is that it absolutely is a financial freedom possibility if you put in the work. You put in the work, you're going to get rewarded. If you half-ass it or just guess or think you're on YOLO or don't have a game plan, you will absolutely get destroyed, right? You will get destroyed. You know, I have been trading since 2018, and those first 4 years were atrocious, right? Because I was all over the goddamn place, right? I didn't know what I was doing. I was winging it, and I was like, forget this crap. So I dug down deep and started pushing myself, and I changed the game, right? My last 4 years have been incredibly profitable for me to now. This is my full-time job. I'm able to take care of my wife and my 3 beautiful kids, and they're able to do what they want to do, and I can do this, and I love doing this, and I'm very happy with it. So let's get after it. You know, you got a little background of me, but I'm always here for you. I am big into mentorship. I'm big into helping because I didn't have anybody. I didn't have one person to help me out, not one. And I know how hard it was when I was just jumping from Discord to Discord, and it was bullshit, right? Till I was like, screw this, I can do it on my own. And that's what I did. So here we are. Candlesticks, right? This is really, really important to me because I only use candlesticks. I only use chart patterns, and I only use volume. And last but not least, price action. I don't use anything else on my charts. I don't need anything else. I'm exceptionally well with this. And just think about it. They didn't have all this hoop and holler 25 years ago when you were trading. So, and nothing's changed, right? It's still the same thing. But what I love about candlesticks is that it can give you what's about to happen. You can say, that looks very interesting. I'm going to wait a few minutes because I have seen this before. And you might hear me say that on live calls. And I'm like, I don't like those wicks. I don't like those wicks. I'm going to wait because I have seen this before. Something in my mind's telling me, hold on, Ben, we've done this before. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about the sentiment, the market sentiment. We're going to talk about how I can help you predict where it's about to go. I'm going to talk about reversals and continuous patterns, right? We talked about in chart, but now I can show you with the candles. I will give you a few indicators to use. I'll give you a few strong trade confirmations. I'm going to show you an example, and I'll try to give you some good setups that'll say, okay, that makes sense to me, and I'll start to use that in my day-to-day. So let's get after it, right? So let's talk about this. What exactly are candlestick patterns, right? Candlestick patterns are, in my opinion, like 3 different things, right? They help you predict where the market could go, right? They're psychologically saying, hey, this is where the money's coming and doing. This will help you make a decision. 2, they help you interpret what price action will be. And I think week 12 or 13, we're going to go over price action. You're going to be mind blown because you're going to be like, oh, all of the stuff I've been learning up to this now makes sense in what price action means. And of course, this will help you with reversals, continuous, and even the trend strength. Is this real up, real down? Is it fake? Am I about to get caught up? You know, so that's what I'm excited about this today. So let's keep going. If you remember from last week, we talked about understanding a candlestick. And if you're like most people, most new traders come into the market, and the chart that they use, if it's Webull or Robinhood or TradingView or any of these other Thinkorswim, they default to candlesticks. Okay, this is an example of a candlestick. There are other ways to trade: lines, Hadoop, open, line, price, volume, plenty of this stuff. What I'm going to teach you is the basics, so you can understand the basics of a candlestick. Then, as you get really good at it, you absolutely can, look at other type of candles and trade that way. But let's learn the basic candlestick, then you can start to enhance your mind, okay? Now, as always, there are 2 default colors. There's green for a bull, there's red for a bear. You can absolutely change the colors to whatever you like: blue, white, yellow, purple, it doesn't matter. What for this example, so that we don't confuse anyone, green is up, red is down. Okay, so we'll go with that. But how does a candle form, right? Depending on the time frame, right? There are anywhere from 30 seconds, a minute, all the way up to a month type of candles. The higher the time frame, the stronger that candle is. Okay, so if your 1 minute candles are going all over the place, but the hour candle is just one solid block, it's probably in a good spot. Okay, and we're going to talk about that. But let's again just make sure you understand how a candle works. For a bull side, for an up candle, it will start down at the bottom. It could go down for a minute and work its way up and then come to a close. And for an example, we're going to use this one as it opened at $98. It tried to see if anybody wanted to buy at 97. Nobody did. It bought up to 99, and then it tried to reach up to $100, and nobody bought it, and it closed at $99. So in at 98, tries to see, the bears want to see if they can short it. They failed. It bought itself back up to 99. The bulls try to get a little greedy, see if they can throw some fillers out there to 100, and nobody took it, and it closed at 99. Okay? Now, we'll do the same thing on the opposite side. It starts at the top for a red candle. We'll start at the top. So we're in at $99, and the bulls try to push it to 100. Like, maybe we can stop this. And they don't get any lucky, and it starts to short the market. So it goes down to 98. And then again, same thing with them. They try to get a little greedy down there, try to see if they can get 97, and nobody's there. They do it, and it closes at 98. So in at 99, tries to go to 100, ends up coming down to 97. Nobody's there, closes at 98. That's how you know everybody agrees with this price. Because you remember, you have to have both sides agree for a trade to happen. So if I'm at 99 and you're at 98, until we agree, that will not get filled. But when it gets filled, boom, sold in there. That's what creates the candle. Okay, it definitely represents the difference between the open and the close, and it indicates if this is a strong move or a crappy move or an indecisive move or a hammer or all these things you're going to learn. It helps you with that. So we have the basics of just understanding what a candle is. It has an open, has a close, depends on the time. 1 minute candles look a whole lot different than an hour candle. Hour candles look totally different than a 4-hour candle, and so on. You just need to understand what a candle is telling you, right? What does it tell you? And that's what we're going to learn. Now, first and foremost, I want to teach you a couple reversals before we talk about a continuous candlesticks, right? I think these are great for you to start out. Same thing with the chart patterns, right? Learning a flag, learning a wedge, learning a rectangle, those are great starting patterns. But these are ones that I want you to learn when it comes to reversals, okay? So a reversal candle is a hammer candle. It looks just like a hammer. Inverted hammer, it's the same thing, just opposite on the opposite side, up and down, and I'm going to show you more examples. Engulfing candles, this is where you have, let's say you trade on the 5-minute candles, okay? You're on the 5-minute candle, and let's, for this example, they are red candles going down. It's like going down, and then all of a sudden this 5-minute candle engulfs that bearish move. The reversal is happening. I am telling you right now. I feel 9 out of 10 times you're going to see it push back up, because engulfing means they are taking over. Think Pac-Man, right? Pac-Man eats the ball, move on. That's what's happening. Whatever the side is, bull or bear, if that candle completely takes over the prior candle, you need to be prepared that there is something about to happen. Somebody is making a decision that it can move the market, and those are huge happening. Same thing with a morning star, right? You've probably seen these before. It comes down, all of a sudden you have these candles that look really small together, or maybe one candle, and all of a sudden it starts to go right back up. Always pay attention to those. And it's the exact same thing for the opposite. It's called an evening star. So you have green candles working their way up, and then all of a sudden you have kind of this one candle all by itself, looks totally different, and then the next candle's red. Here comes the decline, right? Now, it's not a massive decline, but you can get in and scalp those, right? And I think about this all the time. Like, where would you put your entry? Like where would you enter on these type of candles, right? On the 5-minute candle, as soon as I see this engulfing happening, I'm entering immediately on the next candle with the stop loss being the bottom of the wick of that candle, right? That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm in, my stop loss is below what engulfed that thing. That 5-minute candle literally pushed its way back up. I'm entering there. My stop loss is the bottom of that candle, and I'm taking the play. I'm looking for 10 to 20% in and out, and I'm done with that play, right? You can leave runners if you would like to, but those are huge, great plays because I'm not necessarily catching the bottom. I'm catching what the candles are telling me. This thing could last 20 minutes, could go up 20 minutes and then completely just knife. Totally fine. I was in and out in 15 minutes, got my money and moved on, right? Same thing with Morningstar. You're seeing like it's down, decline, down, decline, down, decline. And then all of a sudden you got this out of nowhere, this itty bitty little 5-minute candle that's really small. It's where the buyers and the sellers agree on this price. They're like, you know what? We like this price. We're good with this price. And then all of a sudden the next candle is a massive push up. Same thing. As soon as that candle closed, I'm in that next candle. Stop loss is below the bottom of that wick, and I ride it until I make my 10 to 20%. I sell 90% of it. If I want to have a runner, I leave my runner, and I rotate my runner as I go. Not difficult to do. You just have to do it a few times, and after that, you start to really go. And what you'll hear from me a lot is that I am big on compounding your gains. Huge on that, right? I feel that I will outwork you with my 10 to 20% than you getting lucky on a 100% play. I'm telling you right now, my 5 days of nothing but 10s and 20s crushes your hundreds because I'm able to compound myself. Because if I have a good Monday and a good Tuesday, I not only can get 15 contracts, I can now get 22 contracts. And 22 contracts give me a whole lot more money at 10 to 20% than it does at 15, and it starts to add up. And when I'm doing 30 and 40 and 50 contract plays in the background, you know, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those 10 to 20% because it starts to add up. Because the whole goal is to increase your capital, right? And I want the capital to work for you. So when you get to 25,000, you get to 50,000, you get to 100 grand, right? You have 100,000 in your account. 10% on 100 grand is $10,000. 1% is $1,000. Do you understand the difference on when you working with $1,000 of 1%, $10, right? 10%, $100, right? You have to work your way up, but take those wins. There's nothing wrong with $20 and $30 wins. Those add up. It allows you to get another contract. That's the whole goal. Get another contract. Can I get another contract tomorrow? I was able to work with 5 today, 5 times. Perfect. Well, tomorrow, could you get 6 and the other are 5? And then Wednesday, could you get 6, 6 and the other 5? And then Thursday, could you get 6, 6, 6 and 5? You know, that's the goal for you doing it. So if you can learn these 7, just get familiar with these 7, right? I'm not saying you need to be an expert tomorrow, but what I want you to do is go back to your favorite ticker. If you love trading NVIDIA or AMD or Intel or SPY or QQQ, go back at the time that you like to trade, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you like, and go circle those and tell me what it looks like after. Go back for a full month and go find all the hammers that you see, right? The hammer candles can be all the way at the top, can be slightly at the top, but most of the time they're at the top or the bottom, okay? It has to be one of those. It can't be in the middle. I apologize. I tried to find one that showed it at the top, but I'm going to show you an example in a second. So, all right, let's continue on. Here are some more wonderful, wonderful, wonderful candles for you to start to put in your background. Put this on your wallpaper. Put this when you're eating dinner. Like, just look at this. Just keep looking at it all the time, right? I look at this all the time. Here's what I was talking about with the hammer, right? You have a bearish movement down, right? You have candles down, candles down, candle down, and then all of a sudden you get this green hammer-looking candle, okay? Green hammer-looking candle. Here comes the next candle's green, next candle green. That is representing that you have a reversal happening, right? And if you kind of understand what the candle's doing, what the candle's telling you is that it opened here and it tried to go down. Sometimes it has a really long wick, right? You've seen it sometimes. You're like, what is going on? It looks like it's just knifing for the first 30 seconds. And then all of a sudden, for the rest of the 4.5 minute candle, it works its way all the way back up. And they get this long wick. And then it looks like a hammer at the top. Just think about Super Mario Brothers or whatnot. And boom, it works your way back up. Now, for me, when it comes, like I said, when I'm looking for an inch around this, I like to have one more green candle after that. So to me, a hammer takes 10 minutes. Okay, if you're doing a 5-minute strategy, if you're on the 5-minute thing, 10 minutes. 2 minutes, 4 minutes, whatever it is, just wait one more. That's all I do. I wait one more. So I'm in here. I would enter at the break of the third candle, and my stop loss is the bottom of probably the bearish candle, but somewhere in the middle of the hammer wick. Your choice. Just don't have to overcomplicate it. Pick what makes reasonable for you. Most of the time, it's not that far off when it comes to cents. You might be 30 cents, 50 cents, 60 cents difference. It's not that big of a difference. It's just whatever you're willing to risk, right? But as you start to get familiar with it, for the hammer one, I like to wait one more candle and then I enter, okay? Stop loss, I ride it, 10 to 20%. Same thing, you hear me all the time, and then boom. And again, same thing, inverted hammer. Remember, it's the exact same thing. As long as the inverted candle looks green, you're going to the other side. If that thing turns red, it's void. Okay? Again, look at all of these. All of these are hilarious telling you of reversals. These happen all the time. All the time. Bullish and bearish. I don't even have to know. I don't even have to watch the chart. I could just come in at 11 o'clock. I can see exactly what happened and go, yep, 2 reversals, bullish engulfing, boom, uptrends up, and I can see it. It's because I've been studying and charting it and looking at it 24/7. And while people yell at me and go, well, how did you know to get in there? I'm like, well, the candles are telling me what's happening. Now, I have had plenty of times where I've been absolutely faked out. It happens, but I have a stop loss and I have a risk, right? I'm never going to guess myself. If I'm in a hammer and I get into the third candle and that candle goes green and all of a sudden it just freaking knifes on me, that's okay. I'm okay. I've already planned on it. I moved on and I moved to the next one. Okay? Great visual for you to continue moving. Okay? Now that we talked about reversals, let's talk about continues. This is ones where, is it going to continue to go up or are we at the top? Right? These are the other side. So remember, you learned chart patterns of reversals and continuous. Now you're learning candlesticks, reversals, and continuous. This is the continuous side. I only have a few that I want you to learn immediately. Like, try to start to see it, okay? Let's talk about the rising 3 method first, right? This is an example where you have a big push-up, right? It's a big push-up. It's like bang, bang, bang. Big buying orders. It pushes the candle up. And then all of a sudden, you get where it's like, are they taking profit or was that the top, right? And what I want you to pay attention to is these 3 candles or however many red candles they are, as long as they stay within the mega candle, as long as they stay within there, like it can do as much as it wants in there, I like the continuous to the upside. Okay, so make sure you understand what I'm saying. You have a big push-up candle, okay? I don't care how many red candles you have, it can go sideways for freaking 3 hours. As long as it stays in that, I am playing the up 100%. Because that candle is telling me that all they're doing is waiting for the volume to come back to push it back up, for the next leg up, okay? As soon as the candle closes under that candle, then the rising 3 is void, okay? And that's all it is. That means it's not them taking profit. It's them trying to short it and they're actually winning, okay? Now, doji candles. These are the same thing. Here's 2 perfect examples, okay? You've definitely seen this. You have big push up, big push up, big push up, and then all of a sudden you have this big red candle, right? In the first 50 seconds of the 5-minute candle, you're like, ah, dang it. But then all of a sudden, here it comes. Everybody, it's buying it back, buying it back, buying it back, buying it back. And then that candle ends up being this little bitty candle. I'm absolutely getting back under the calls, right? If this didn't stop me out, you've probably heard this before. They're called stop loss hunters, or they're just trying to get rid of your liquidity. That's what these candles are. It's because they're trying to see how far can we push this down and really quick without the volume picking up. And then when the volume picks up, everyone's like, wait, why are we going down? The trend is to the upside. And they buy it all the way back up. And it's this little bitty, itty bitty candle. Absolutely to the upside. Same thing. This is the bearish ones, the dragonfly and the gravestone. Dragonfly to the upside. Think about flying. Gravestone going back into the grave, right? Same exact thing. Gravestone, buy down, buy down, buy down, and then all of a sudden you got this big green candle. It always happens in the beginning. It's like this big up, and then the rest of the time, everyone buys it back down, going, wait, no, we're not going back up. We're shorting the crap out of this, and boom, that's what happens, right? So you have your up rising three as long as it stays within those candles. I look to enter at the top of this candle, and my stop loss is the bottom of that candle that started the push, like whatever that push is. The gravestone, same way. I look to enter as soon as it breaks below the bottom of the gravestone or the top of the gravestone, and my stop loss is somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle, whatever makes easy for you. And the same thing for the falling wedges, right? You have the bearish down, and then all of a sudden it's sideways. It's just staying there. They're trying to push up. I think they call it cat bounce or something like that. I don't know. The young kids be calling it different names. To me, it's the bears want to think the bulls think they're going to catch it, and they got you. Gotcha. It's one of them gotcha moments. So, and again, most of the time, the trend continues after they consolidate. And that's all it is. You're just waiting for the most important thing that we're going to talk about. They're just waiting for the volume, right? They're waiting for the volume. All of these things have to have volume to continue in that direction. And that's what it is, right? That's the whole hoop and holler of this is volume. Now, using the patterns to help you with indicators, right? And these are good for you, for anyone that likes to do it, that just needs something else, right? I like candlesticks, patterns, volume, price action, and I use the moving averages for me more of just confirmation. Like if it gets over the 9 and the 21 and VWAP, and it's done 3 of my moving averages, I feel pretty confident we're moving to the upside, right? Versus, oh my God, it broke the 9, the 21, VWAP, the 50, and the 200. Yeah, I feel pretty bearish, right? It's kind of hard for me not to think that. So I use volume to help me with my strategy, right? Is the volume been normal, and all of a sudden it starts to pick up? Ooh, we're about to explode in a direction. I use the moving averages to validate my trend, like where are we going? And sometimes you can use RSI to help you push into the upside. You can use the MACD when the signal crosses to the down or up that say, hey, we could be signaling a flip of some sort. We could be flipping to the upside, or we could be flipping to the downside. But here's an example of like a day trade trend, right? You could have a day where it starts out, gets ugly, you get the engulfing, you play the call, and then it just says, nope, it fails, works its way down. Here's an example of the rising or the falling 3. You think that they're going to go back up, and you play the put down, does the exact same thing again. You play the put down, then you finally get a mega engulfing, all right, and you push back up. And again, here's your rising 3. You play the calls again. So throughout the whole day, you have plenty of opportunities. Okay? Again, super high level, but I don't want you to think that you have to be an expert, but you got plenty of time. Now, common mistakes, okay? Easy mistakes for you to quickly avoid and put it out, right? Get it out of yourself. Trading the pattern without waiting for the confirmation, okay? I see this all the time where someone's like, oh, there's 1 green candle, there's 2 green candles, all this is about to be the rising 3, and I'm going to play calls. And I'm like, wait, you didn't let it play out. So they get in on the second one and not letting it get to the 3rd candle, and they get faked out. And I'm like, oh, man. Or they think it's going to be a doji with 2 minutes left in the candle. I'm like, wait, just let the candle play out. Like, you don't have to rush. You don't have to be the early one. You just need to be right? Let it play out. Let the candle play out. It's okay. There are hundreds of thousands of opportunities every day. It's okay if you miss this one. It's okay. There's going to be one in 5 minutes, in 10 minutes. And if there's not one the rest of the day, that's okay. You saved your money. You can play again tomorrow, right? Now, misinterpreting where the freaking trend is, right? If the trend is up, why are you trying to call the top? What makes you think that this is the top of the day, right? Just because it rejected? Well, what happened at the rejection? What do the wicks tell you? What do the candles tell you? How much is the volume? Is it still pushing? Why do you think it's the top, right? Remember, I'm not an expert on the top and the bottom. I am an expert on confirmations, right? I need to know what's happening before I'm going to throw my money in there, right? Because I don't want to be putting puts in when all of a sudden it just keeps on going, right? And same thing when everyone's like, oh, it's going to go, it's going to knife. And I'm like, why do you think it's going to knife? What is it? Is just your gut? Okay, cool. If it's going to be your gut, then play it off with a short time frame and just either play it and go with your gut or don't play it at all. Or, last but not least, is misinterpreting the candle pattern at all, right? Just looking at the candlestick and going, oh, this looks like a hammer to me. And I'm like, what? It's in the middle. Or it's the wicks are way long, or you think it's engulfing because the wicks are longer. No, you're making it up and putting yourself in the wrong thing. So I think if you can kind of avoid those, I think you're going to be just fine. But most people, they fail hard because they're trying to fit something that doesn't fit. Okay? Let's keep going. Examples of real world studies, right? Like I heard you talk about, we talked about this earlier. I want you to take your favorite ticker and go back for a month and go for 20 or 21 business days and look how many times you see, for an example, a bullish engulfing candle. Okay? Here's prime example of SPY where you have a bullet, like it's working its way, and you actually have a candle that takes over all of it. And what did I tell you to do? As soon as you see a bullish engulfing, you enter on the next candle with the stop loss down here. So this was 10 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30-minute increase. If you could not increase by 10 to 20%, I would be mind blown that you couldn't get in at a good price. This was definitely a $50 to $80 or $90 win right here. Absolutely. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for those. Okay? And again, look, you could have stayed in. Even if you didn't get out of the play, you let your stop loss here, and let's say you took your 20%, you left runners go. Your runners never came to your stop loss. And boom, pushed it. Right? Pretty cool stuff to see. Right? Again, you will be like, your eyes will become super wide when you start seeing this and you go back and go, oh my gosh, I was in that play and I was in short there. And what was I thinking? And it just ripped on me. Why did I not see that? Because I see it all the time. Like, prime example, so mad at myself about the Google play on Friday. I'm so mad. I went back and I researched that so hard. I was like, why did you play that? It didn't get to your level. Why did you jump into it early, Ben? I was so mad at myself. But I learned from it, told myself I'm never going to do that again. And I have it on my desk. I'm never doing that again. And it's just one of those things where I'm like, gosh, such a goofball, Ben. But that's okay. I made a mistake and I fixed it. I won't do that again. So here's the key takeaways from our session today, right? There's 4 of them. Candlestick patterns, okay, reveal where the market is going. They tell you the story. They 100% tell you what is happening. Big candle, little candle, itty bitty candle, sideways, up and down. It tells you where we're going, okay? But the patterns, when you start to see the patterns, it starts to pick up because those candlesticks now become a chart pattern. And when the chart pattern comes and you're looking for the volume, you are a game changer. You're 95% better than every other beginning trader out there. 100%. Reversals and continuous patterns help you refine your entries. Should I get in or should I get out? Right? Always use confirmation, for the love of gosh, before you get into a play. Is it okay if you wait one more candle? Are you going to be hurt that you didn't get in at $20, but you got in at $25, but you still got out at $30? Are you mad at yourself that you didn't get in? No, you got in at $25 because you waited one more candle for confirmation, and you did just fine. And last but not least, please, practice, right? Just practice. Just go back and look at the chart. Just take 10 minutes every Sunday and look at the chart and see if you can find something. right? I promise you'll be like, holy shit, sorry, holy crap. There was engulfing 11 times in the month of May so far that I could have had 11 A plus setups. And I didn't need anybody but myself, right? Of course, I don't want you to leave me. I love you to death and, always stay with Ben, but, things like that. So, all right. Any questions? Was this helpful? Let's put you in a different mindset. You see how impressive the name of the game is? Stop my recording.